All right, partner. Let's do this shit.
Have some fun.
Let's talk a lot of shit.
I do that all day.
Yeah. What the fuck is up, Gridiron Nation? If you watch the Sticky podcast, I can now refer to you as my jiggas. What is up? If you love football, you know that this has been the hottest, fastest growing football podcast in the world. I feel pretty confident in saying that. 2,000 subscribers. Thanks to all you guys doing what you do out there, sharing the content, and really just buying into the whole platform that we have here where we just talk our shit, all right? I'm your host, George Carmona, and today I have a podcast newbie. Alex, say what's up.
What's going on, Gridiron Junkeez Nation?
Yeah.
Happy to be here. Excited.
Yeah, man. So have you ever wanted to do a podcast? Because when I saw you the first time, you were very animated at John. I was like, oh, shit, no, this dude's definitely been on camera before. So have you wanted to do this?
It's something actually John's been trying to get me to do for a long time. I'm a landlord who has a lot of interesting landlord stories, guns being pulled on me and tenants beating each other with canes.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, and John thinks they're hilarious, and he's tried to convince me to either write a sitcom or do some podcasts. And
that would be a great sitcom, actually.
I know, but I feel like if I actually told the true story, I'd get myself in a lot of trouble,
Okay, so without using names, like let's just go over this. Have you seen somebody like get beaten the fuck up?
Oh, that was last week. I have a property down in Alabama, and I have two tenants. One's a woman in her 50s, and another one is a guy in his guy's about 45, but he's completely blind.
Oh my God.
So one of my workers calls me up last week. He goes, "You're not going to fucking believe this." And I said, "I've been doing this so long. There's little that I won't believe."
Right.
And he goes, "Turn the cameras on to the property," because I have remote cameras. And I'm watching this woman went after the blind guy, and the blind guy, to defend himself, started beating her with his walking stick. So I'm watching a 50-something-year-old woman with a blind guy wailing on each other. And she's trying to say it's his fault. And when I'm watching on the camera, the cops get there, and literally the cops said to me, "What the fuck do you have going on here?" Yeah, so that's just a normal day in my life.
Can you call, not call in, but do you have like a speaker that you can
remote in on this camera?
You know what's funny? Actually, in retrospect, I use the Blink camera system, and you can talk.
You should do that,
to them.
but you should wait till you have two blind guys fighting and go, "Hey, he got a knife."
Marco you're getting closer, warmer, hotter, colder,
Bro.
Then a couple of years ago, I walked in on this property was vacant, and I went to show it, and I heard noises in the upstairs bedroom, and I walk in, and there's these two crackheads, and this guy's just railing on this other crackhead chick.
Like railing, like
fucking her brains out. And, at one point I'm going, well, I might as well let him finish before I kick him out,
Oh, kind guy.
Well, I figure the life's hard enough. Might as well let the guy get a little something if I can.
Yeah, get his rocks off, literally.
Yeah, I had to disinfect the property anyway, so I might as well give him a few more minutes.
Oh, my goodness.
That's the landlord we want in our world.
Wow. So being a landlord is everything they say it is, right? Like
everything they say it is and more.
You're flowing in cash. So what the fuck else?
Well, like I tell everybody, every job's got its fucking problems. Right. I get to deal with mine while I'm hanging out doing things like this or on a beach.
Facts.
Hanging out with friends or, other people. So I can't really complain. Every job's got to be miserable.
True. True.
Accountants have tax season.
Referees have to referee these NFL games, and
I don't know if I actually call them doing a job anymore with what they're fucking calling nowadays.
They're getting their hands cuffed right now because there's safety protocols. Okay, do you not remember? Tua was like,
listen, Tua.
Do we not want our quarterbacks to be safe?
Oh, we definitely want them to be safe, but that's more on the protocol side of it with the, letting them back in the game. But these penalties they're calling, you got a 300-pound lineman sacking a quarterback. He's not thinking, okay, let me land a little bit to my left, a little bit to my right. These guys aren't exactly the most agile.
No, they're fat.
It's like trying to move the Titanic on a dime. It didn't work out too well for them, and with regards to the iceberg. You can't really turn at the last minute, But yeah, so the refs are just trying out there, but I definitely think they don't know what they're calling at this point.
Yeah, they don't know what they're calling. And that's why I'm saying they're being handcuffed because, hey, accidents fucking happen, people, okay? Tua, any other quarterback, Aaron Rodgers getting slammed down like 4 or 5 years ago, separating his shoulder. Accidents fucking happen. But we cannot be just this overly cautious society when it's the dangerous fucking sport alive.
I think what people don't talk about with this is obviously it's protecting the quarterbacks, but I think it's also the NFL protecting themselves. Like you watched last night's game, offense disappeared. You have a multi-million-dollar quarterback go down, and his backup's in there, and this is supposed to be a nationally broadcast game. It turned into a shit show to watch, and no one wants to watch it.
Right.
So would you rather watch, Tom Brady play or Blake Bortles, who's retired now, but I'm saying these backups. So the NFL is trying to make sure that their star players stay on the field, too.
Right. I mean, there's a beauty in it, though, that you are holding up people, right? Like sometimes these lifers, I mean, to say that Tom Brady's one of those exceptions, but there are quarterbacks, Matt Ryan, that are like old as fuck and that need to move on, bro. And
Tom Brady.
Phillip Rivers last year. Huh? What? Drew Brees? And I'm a Saints fan. But he stayed too fucking long. So part of me is like, and I mean, Tom Brady's like made it through the cracks, right? Now, if they didn't make these rules and Garrett fucking gets to tee off on Brady, that might be Brady's last play in the NFL.
True, yeah.
I'm surprised it doesn't happen or like sooner to a guy like that because it really just takes your fucking left tackle slipping once and that guy coming behind you and ending your life.
I mean, I know what I feel like at my age right now, and it hurts in the morning. I can only imagine what Tom Brady feels like after a Sunday.
Yeah,
I mean, you're right, and that's not how the NFL wants to see these guys go out. Imagine Brady just going out in week 6, second quarter, 6 minutes left on 3rd and 8, and that's it.
Right, but there is a part of me still though that is like you watch those highlights from the early 2000s and 1990s, and that's fun football.
That was the pinnacle of football, even with the running backs and, guys made, Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith, they made guys pay to hit them, and now you can't touch these guys. We were talking about it earlier, you go across the middle and it becomes flag football at that point.
Oh, it's bad.
I used to love watching a receiver, and I appreciated and respected a receiver that had the balls to go over the middle with no fear.
Or let's just talk about how the good play is a quarterback fitting it into a spot where you're falling and you're saving yourself. That makes your quarterback a little bit better. Yeah, no. It all around the rules and the fucking softness, it's getting ridiculous. Accidents are going to happen. And there's no need now, in my opinion, to do these makeup calls. So, but as we're recording the show, this morning, Tom Brady gets fined $11,000 for his kick after getting like the roughing the passer call that changed the game this past weekend for the Falcons. We're gonna run through this so you guys can see the kick that Brady cost Brady $11K here. Yeah, no, he pretty much is just getting his legs flailed around. He like kicks up in a fit of rage and he gets fined $11,000. It's one of many makeup calls that the NFL is fucking trying to do here because they feel bad because they understand that the roughing the passer the call that was made on Sunday was bullshit.
I just can't believe these play like this or the roughing the passer stuff. That should be a reviewable call, just like anything else, because it doesn't impact the flow of the game. It's not like an interception or fumble that gets called dead too early.
That's 15 yards. Like it's a fucking it's a huge like people. You need to understand the importance of 5 yards in the fucking league. 15 is a game. That's a field goal.
Yeah, and that's not how you want games decided.
No.
And I mean, this kind of kick right here, I don't even see him necessarily kick the guy. No. It's not like a just get off me type of thing, but $11,000 for that, I mean, that's ridiculous.
No, and they're just trying to, like you said earlier, prove that, Brady's not like untouchable. He can also get in trouble too. But beyond that, and the NFL being soft, there has been a lot of talk lately about like the Rooney rule and black head coaches in the league and how there's a lack of black head coaches in the league. And it came to a boiling point yesterday with Todd Bowles, but I wanted to play this video that I found. It came out 2 weeks ago, and it's like a compilation of black head coaches. We'll play the Todd Bowles video first. First time seeing
you.
this.
You and Mike Tomlin are two of the few black head coaches in the league. I wonder what your relationship is like with them and your thoughts on Steve Wilkes joining that fold.
I have a very good relationship with Tomlin. We don't look at what color we are when we coach against each other. We just know each other. I have a lot of very good white friends that coach in this league as well, and I don't think it's a big deal as far as us being coaching against each other. I think it's normal. Wilkes got an opportunity to do a good job. Hopefully he does it. And we coach ball. We
Wait
don't
for this
look at
part.
color.
This is even better.
But you also understand that representation matters too, right? And that when young aspiring coaches or even football players, they see you guys, they see someone that looks like them, maybe grew up like them, that has to mean something.
Well, when you say you see you guys and look like them and grow up like them, it means that we're oddballs to begin with. And I think the minute you guys stop making a big deal about it, everybody else will.
So, yeah.
I love Todd Bowles for this.
100%, man. 100%. Todd Bowles is the only coach, too. We're going to play this second video here where he kind of highlights that same exact principle. And this video is unique because there's that same mentality that it's a tough spot to fucking fill one of 32 jobs in a league. However, if you are, starting to get these extra opportunities, these handouts, these participation trophies, fucking waters you down.
Yeah.
And not saying it hasn't been tough, but listen to the guys that have coached in the league themselves talk about it.
You have the responsibility to do this the right way, because there's many people who were career-long NFL assistants who never got that opportunity.
I think we got to do a better job with ourselves to put ourselves in better position to make guys like Tony proud, to make guys like Herm proud.
There's only 32 jobs in this league, so whether you get a second chance or not, you're lucky no matter what color you are.
I do think the words genius, guru, quarterback whisperer are all phrases that they use to describe non-African-American coaches.
It's as if we don't have the same IQ, intelligence level as some of our other brothers.
You can go out and catch the ball, you can throw the ball, but can you lead?
I think that if owners would give black coaches more opportunities, not say that you have to keep a guy for 8 years or 10 years, but you would if he won.
You're a minority coach. You got to win.
It seems like when you have diversity, well, you've taken responsibility, and this topic is not a topic. But when you don't have it, it's a topic.
All right. The Washington Post kind of crushed it there. But the whole opportunities thing, right? And now they're given opportunities in every single organization to have an interview. But it's a sensationalized type thing because of what happened. Fucking this huge uproar. I would say that started right after Kaepernick, and then it slowly faded into what started in 2020 with the whole Black Lives Matter thing. It is one of the quickest ways to generate a headline at this moment in time, and
especially the lawsuits and things like that now going on, and Brian Flores and all these other coaches that have jumped on. It's a hot topic for sure.
And I am one to have always thought that it, just like Todd Bowles said, it's just a tough fucking league to coach in. And Marvin Lewis, who is the Bengals coach, also said that you have to go through the process. And I think what you have seen is you see a lot more African-American or minority coaches in assistant coaching roles that will inevitably lead to it. And I think it's going to be laughable when in 15, 20 years, the numbers starting to fucking balance out and it's almost half and half.
Well, I take a perfect example of, Brian Flores again. He was mad he didn't get the Giants job because Bill Belichick accidentally texted him and said, hey, right, congrats, and it was the wrong Brian. Look at the Giants right now. I mean, so black, white, green, I don't care what color you are. It turns out that Brian Daboll, at least for the time being, was the right. I mean, the Giants are playing way better. He is motivating them, and that's not to say black. I don't care who my coach is. I want to. If I'm an owner of an NFL team, I want a winner. Mm-hmm. And the truth is, a lot of these African American coaches, just like a lot of white coaches the last couple of years, they're not winning. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look
Hugh
at
Hugh Jackson. Ron Rivera is a perfect example.
Ron Rivera, well-respected coach. I loved him when he was at Carolina. He's not working with talent. He probably works for one of the shittiest owners in the NFL also, so he's not getting necessarily exactly what he needs. But I don't look at Ron Rivera because of his race and go, he's not coaching well.
Right.
He's just an NFL coach.
Right.
And they're going to have to fire him at the end of the year probably, even though if I had Carson Wentz as my quarterback, I would have probably walked out of the office to begin with. You know?
Now, so that's funny you said that yesterday because we're reporting on this after the Thursday night game. He really defended Carson Wentz in his post-game presser last night, saying I watched the fucking tape and I wanted no, seriously, you got to check this out. He
I did not see that.
He went off by saying he's my guy because
he threw for 99 fucking yards yesterday.
He's so bad and he looks horrific.
99 yards.
A fucking maroon uniform. He looks like a doofus. I am a Carson Wentz hater this year. I don't mind watching the games, though, because of how sporadic of a fucking quarterback he is. He's so inconsistent. It's fun. Similar to Derek Carr. But regardless, let's just go back to you guys get Brian Daboll at the Giants.
I'm from New York City, so, I think we've had some weak coaches. I hated the Joe Judge hiring.
Right.
Guy was a special teams coordinator. Never shown as a leader of real men, and we all know that the Bill Belichick coaching tree has not been particularly successful.
No.
I thought McDaniels would be, better out here, and I think he will be. I think he's, in his first year with the team. But the Giants are just playing. I think they're outplaying their coverage, I guess you could say at this point.
Oh, most definitely. And I think you guys are finally playing defense, which the Giants haven't fucking really done.
They haven't had the players for it. Since the highlights of the mid 2000s, with Michael Strahan and Jesse Armstead and all these guys, JPP and all them.
Right.
It's been a long time since the Giant. And the problem is the Giants have had an offense since Eli left, or actually even since the last couple of years of Eli. So the defense is on the field way longer.
So it makes them look even worse.
Correct, because you can only defend for so long before you're going to get holes punched in your D. What impresses me about the Giants right now is Daniel Jones, who I'm not sold on him either as a franchise quarterback.
I just picked him up in fantasy this week. I hope he does well against.
I think he's going to be a game manager. I don't think he's not going to throw for 400 yards a game, but he's doing it without a real receiving core either.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley's having, probably he's going to be 1 or 2 in the comeback player of the year between him and Geno Smith.
Well, that dude got fucking shot, and he.
Oh, well, Brian Robinson.
Robinson.
That's the legit comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
And he scored the only touchdown yesterday. He was plus 750 to score the first touchdown of the game. And he scored the only one.
Holy shit.
I didn't bet it, but plus 750, if you'd put 1,000 on that.
1,000.
It was plus 7. Hey, go big or go home.
Right.
But,
that's a nice little unit.
The Giants are playing without a stud receiver. I don't think OBJ he's not going back to New York.
I don't know what he's doing. He's just in limbo right now.
I think he ends up
in limbo.
I think he ends up in Buffalo or LA.
If the Saints get better, I think he can go to the Saints.
Now I know you're on the Saints bandwagon.
Yes.
I know you're a big Saints guy. And listen, the NFC. I think anybody in the NFC can make it to the Super Bowl this year. I don't think any team is so dominant that in a one game
standing out
that nobody will be going, oh, they're Buffalo, they're Kansas City.
Right.
So I think New Orleans, who knows, could go to the Super Bowl.
We have the Red Rocket now. I don't want Jameis to come back in. We have the Red Rocket. He's fucking sticking out, man. He's a game manager, but with the lack of running ability, which I hate having in a quarterback. Jameis provides that. But even in the games that Jameis was playing earlier on this year, he wasn't using his fucking legs.
No, he was definitely staying in the pocket.
Dude, fucking escape.
But that's a lot of quarterbacks I've noticed. Derek Carr, I was at the game a couple weeks ago, and I was sitting in the 200 section, so you watch in the field, and he's sitting back there and going, run for the 15 yards. And he's sitting there. Take off.
It's worse when you see it in person, because when you see it in person, you can really see the way the field opens up. And sometimes, the quarterbacks are so just... There's a difference between having pocket presence and having field presence. Because pocket presence, you can feel comfortable, which not saying there was probably moments in time at those snaps where he feels comfortable, but it's bro, get your fucking eyes off Devontae Adams.
And take the 10 yards.
And fucking go.
Yeah.
And it happens, and that's why I love Kyler Murray. I love Lamar Jackson. Daniel Jones, I would say, even has a little bit of... Because Daniel Jones, I feel, doesn't have a confident arm.
I don't think he's got a huge arm. You know, I know people say coming out, oh, he's got some, you know, and maybe the problem is he doesn't have a deep threat to really have confidence in
Extend the
throwing the
field.
ball.
Yeah.
You know, when you're throwing a Devontae and it's a jump ball, you feel pretty good he's going to have a shot at it.
Right.
There's no one on the Giants where you're going, all right, we're going to go for the 30-yard pass right now. Like Miami, where Tua has Waddle underneath and he's got Tyreek Hill.
Deep.
And you just throw the ball up and 50-50, he'll probably come down with it.
Right? If not, it's like a punt. Right? We're just flipping field position.
We intercepted? Okay, no problem. We threw 50 yards downfield.
Fuck it.
Okay, no problem. It was third and 12 anyway. What?
Punter's like, damn, man, I wish I could kick that well.
Shit. You guys play what I think is going to be a Super Bowl team this upcoming week in the Baltimore Ravens. I am a huge Ravens fan. You guys are 5.5 point.
5.5 minus 5.5 as of this morning.
It started at 6, I think, and it's moved its way down. Do you think that line moves any lower?
You know, there are going to be people that at the last minute, you know, because the Giants have been putting up quite a fight. And that line, I think that line should be more 4.5. I think it should come down a little bit. I think the Giants, I think they're outplaying their coverage, as I said before, but they are putting up fights. Mm-hmm. And Baltimore has shown themselves to be very up and down this year.
Yeah.
You know, they got into that shootout with Miami where they looked unstoppable. They lost, but they put up 40-something points or 39 point, whatever it was. This is the kind of game where the Giants could eke out a 24-23 kind of victory.
It would be interesting to see you guys take down this AFC fucking beast, because as of this season, I don't think you guys have been tested truly by any sort of teams. But I looked at your schedule, and you guys kind of have a lollipop-ass, candy-ass middle of the season coming up here. So if you guys can take care of business here,
go 3-1 in the next 4 weeks, and you know.
Do you think the Giants are going to make the playoffs this year?
I do, actually. I think they're going to be a wild card team. You know, I think when it comes time to play Dallas and stuff like that, I think those are the games they're going to win. I feel like they'll split the Eagles games, you know. So I think they're going to eat, because like I said, nobody else really is dominating the NFC right now.
Right.
You know, I love them heads up. You know, money line on Green Bay last week. Green Bay's just not the same team.
Mm-mm.
I can't believe Rodgers resigned there with no receiving core whatsoever.
No, he's on like a fucking prove it tour, and what is
he's not proving it?
No,
Nothing.
No, and AJ Dillon can't do everything.
No.
Aaron Jones can only bail you out so many times on little dump offs. It's amazing what a team without receivers like really has to do offensively.
Well, because it's a different NFL now.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a 25 carry ground and pound game. You have to have receive. You have to have an underneath receiver. You got to have the dual threat because you're getting double covered. Guys go high on the coverage. You got to have guys that are, you know how to run routes underneath. And I think Rodgers learning the hard way that, you know, and he knew it. I have no sympathy for him because he knew what he was getting into this year.
Fuck yeah, he did.
He should have got out. He went on that whole force his way out of town bullshit, and then he didn't execute at the end. I mean, he would have been in Denver. You know, I mean, you see what happened there.
Yeah.
Rodgers, I think, would be doing phenomenal in Denver.
I think Russell Wilson is quite possibly in the bottom 4 quarterbacks in the league right now.
I was at my gym 4 weeks ago, and I was talking with my trainer, and actually a guy that trains another former NFL quarterback, you know, was in there with us. And, you know, I said something offhanded about, you know, Russ Wilson. I wouldn't even put him in my top 15. And my trainer, who is a former Seattle fan, and the other guy who's the quarterback trainer, what are you talking about? He's a top 5. I said, I would take 15 guys over Russ Wilson. Russ Wilson is not worth $240 million, 124 guaranteed.
Hell no.
That's Walmart money. That's great.
Yes.
But I knew that was going to be a disaster from the beginning. No, he's going to. And listen, I don't think he's as bad as he's playing right now. I think he's in a new system. I think he's stuck with a coach who has no. I mean,
he's fucking.
The coach had to hire somebody to tell him what to do on the sideline. You saw that, right?
Let's discuss this. So
they hired a babysitter for their coach.
They hired a timeout specialist. A timeout specialist.
Getting paid to go. That's it.
Wait, how much does this pay? Can I do this? Like,
they brought a guy.
I played flag football.
Dude, what the timeout specialist is doing, he's got like 3 monitors in front of him. He's got the game clock, he's got the actual game playing on one thing, and then he's got his fucking spreadsheet on that bottom monitor. And he's just waiting for the perfect time. He hits a buzzer, and it fucking like it vibrates.
It vibrates like the cheating scandal in the live poker stream.
Yeah, like your fucking table's ready at BJ's. It fucking starts.
So I think
timeout.
I think Russell
Stupid
Wilson
as
is
shit.
getting screwed by Nathaniel Hackett's inexperience.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think it's tough for any coach to call plays and be a head coach nowadays. Like I know that they're hired on their offensive skill. They want to call the plays. There's a lot of shit going on in a fucking game.
So much. To be able to be coming up with what's happening next.
The down and yardage, what play we need, who's in for the game, how many points. You know what I wanted to talk about, though, was the last week, I think it was the Monday night game. What game was it? The game that ended in 1 point. Oh, the Raiders game.
Mm-hmm.
I get you're on the road.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I am a big proponent, and people think I'm nuts. I'm a big proponent that if you're on the road or at home, and you score in the last minute of a game, and you're down by 1, you go for 2. That's because I don't care you may not get the ball back. If you can't get in from 2 yards out, you don't deserve the fucking win.
You said a key thing there, though. With a minute
left. 4.5 minutes or 4 minutes left. Josh McDaniels, what the fuck are you doing?
It's
because
moronic.
even if you get it, okay, Pat Mahomes can cover that ground in 2 minutes and get into field goal range. Now, if you were trying to get out of field goal range, and go 4 instead of 3, okay, I can at least see the argument. But there was no reason to go for 2 there. And I love being aggressive. I love going for on 4th and 1, 4th and 2.
Right.
But going for 2 for Dable, in the beginning of the year, Giants goes for it, fucking wins. That sets the tone for the whole season.
Right.
4 minutes left in a game against Kansas City.
It's not that tone. Yeah, so that's like that pressure you feel, right? Where you're on the precipice of fucking up and giving away a really big win, and you're trying to save your ass and what the Raider fans think of you. No, the Raider fans don't like you, Josh McDaniels. Not that little dweeby motherfucker. Josh McDaniels, you have to fucking show some other sort of energy other than that sort of play call. You look at Josh McDaniels, and there's some sort of vibe that I get from him that he's just like bigger than the moment, right? Like where it's just he's been and he's seen all the Super Bowls and he doesn't need to prove himself to anybody. But like you look at Dable and he's fucking coming off a fucking bender in Amsterdam the night before and he's fired up to play football. I don't feel that way with Josh McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels feels like a corporate executive coaching a football team. Dable seems like the guy that got drunk at your family party last night and tried to fight everyone at the party.
Yes.
But, it works in New York. McDaniels in Las Vegas, which, you're still bringing in all your California fans. The guy's just fucking boring.
He is.
The whole Patriot way. Listen, you're seeing it happen with the Patriots now. I think Belichick is a great coach. Fine. He was a lot better coach because of Tom Brady.
True.
Okay. And listen, he's starting over and this and that. But this whole, we don't talk, that no emotion. Fucking show some Dable is, because what this is doing for him is, when tough times do come, he's going to have all this credit he built up from fans. Because New York, New Yorkers are fickle.
Right.
We love you in the moment. We'll boo you. I mean, I remember going to Yankee games as a kid. We'd boo the Yankees one inning, and the next inning, it was, or Jets game. Well, Jets, as my uncle was a diehard Jets fan, and those, that was a lesson in patience, dealing with those kind of games. But New York fans love that energy. And, even John Gruden, guy was fucking nuts, Chucky.
Yes.
I don't think he was the right coach for the modern day NFL. And the sad part about McDaniels is I think he's got the right offense. The guy can open it up. Derek Carr, I think, is a better quarterback than he gets a lot of credit for. Guy's top 6 in fourth quarter comebacks, 300-yard games. A lot of that's trying to play catch up. But I think they'll get there. But his personality is going to run him out of town before his play calls.
Without a doubt. Lose the fucking visor, bro. Like, let's see the main.
This is a city that thrives on being bigger than the moment. Yeah.
Image, right?
Be out there on the strip. Go have dinner. Let us get,
If your coach isn't a coach that could be on a fucking billboard and draw in fans, then that's the wrong fucking coach.
Dable, you posted on your podcast, last with him coming off the stage. Let's go.
Yes.
I picture him leaving that stadium, going right to a bar and going, shots for the whole place.
Yes.
I picture that, and that's the kind of energy you need for a team like this. The Raiders just, and I think part of the problem, and this pisses me off, I don't know if you notice it. Have you noticed at Raiders games that every game feels like almost a road game with the amount of fans flying here,
Right.
which was always going to be a problem. Vegas, right? Because if you're the Giants, you're like, let's go see them play in Vegas this weekend.
It's a great hub.
But I went to the game a couple weeks ago, and it was all visiting. 65%. It felt like the Broncos game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a sea of orange. So I think that plays into it too. Like Vegas hasn't really built up this fan base like Kansas City, where it's impossible to get into the stadium if you're not a Chiefs fan. Almost like they don't put their tickets up for sale. It's just a different energy football in Vegas.
Yeah, no. So we're still in that buying in phase, and this is like the shitty thing where I don't want this to happen to Vegas sports because I'm born and raised out here in Vegas. And what they've always said, aside from like, sports will never be here because of the gambling, but they always said sports will never be here because Vegas fans are very, very petty in the sense that if you're not good and you're not the main attraction of the night, there's hundreds of other shows.
It's like a gambler. If you're not winning, it's like at the craps table, right? If you're rolling, everyone wants to be near you.
Right.
When you crap out, everyone's like, oh, this fucking guy again.
Yep. And it's a legacy thing, right? So you see all those old casinos, they've gotten imploded and there's something new. I worry, right? If we don't have a legacy builder guy, and I thought John Gruden would be it, to really like drive home like this is what it is to be a Raider. It's kind of lost. The Golden Knights had us for a little bit, but if you are a losing team in Las Vegas and 10 years goes by, what's that number start to look like?
That's why
visiting fans taking over 80, 90%?
That's why I think, listen, I didn't think the Golden Knights would do well here, and they do sell out most games. So, hey, I was wrong about that. Rated football, NFL, you're 8 games, you got to sell out. I don't think the Athletics should come here.
That's
81 games of athletics baseball. Forget baseball. 81 games of watching. I'd rather go watch the Aviators. The talent level is exactly the fucking same, and the tickets will be a lot cheaper.
Facts.
Yeah, I don't know what the obsession. I get NBA. I think NBA will do real well here. NBA will do real well on the Strip. People here all weekend.
It's a show. Like yeah, it's
exactly.
a big show.
But 81 fucking games of 9-inning baseball. Watching, no, I'm sorry. I think that's the biggest waste of money.
People are fucking in baseball stadiums now. Wait until you start getting the OnlyFans models out here in Vegas up in that fucking third deck.
With advertising, making content.
Yeah, and do little content shoots at the A's game in Vegas.
Ugh, A's baseball, awful.
So you had mentioned that you had also played high school football and you've been to a lot of games in your life. Do you have any crazy fan interaction moments, like where you saw like a fan fight or like?
Oh, I've been involved in one actually.
Oh, let's hear about this.
This had to be, let's say I lived in Vegas 4 years now. So this is maybe 6 years ago. It was Giants versus the 49ers.
Okay.
And we were sitting in the end zone about 8 rows up. And actually I had 2 stories, but this one. So this guy shows up. Guy's in his mid-20s probably. And he's got the old school 49ers varsity jacket on. He was just one of those guys,
Yeah,
and he's
one of those fools.
One of those fools. Bro, we're for real, bro. We're for real, and he was like the guy from the opening kickoff, acting like they just won the Super Bowl. Like a 3rd and 7 play, they get 2 yards, and he's cheering. And now me, I'm like, this is not going to end well because I know I'm going to get annoyed by this fucker, and everyone else is. So that was the game. I think 49ers were winning most of the game, and this guy was like, my shit's official, bro, because. I think I was wearing like a knockoff like starter hat or something like that, like because it was a hat. Who gives a shit? But he had like the real one, and he's like, "Bro, you see?" And he's talking shit to me, like, "Bro, you see my shit? It's official. At least I got official shit." And the 49ers win the whole game. And I think Eli threw a touchdown with less than a minute left, and this guy just got shit on by the entire fucking section. People throwing beers at him. He went after somebody. He actually ended up getting escorted out with about 30 seconds left.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that was a great one. And then actually just a couple weeks ago, at the Raiders season opener in LA, there was this guy who came in. He was blitz drunk. I mean, before he even sat down. And
Nice.
Everybody else, it was a small little section. Everyone's, mix of Raiders fans, mix of Chargers fans. And this motherfucker, like from the kickoff, yelling and screaming. It's like, bro, listen, I'm all for being a fan, but we're here to watch the show.
Right.
Like,
There ain't no show with the Raiders.
No, it was more for the Chargers. I mean, I got Justin Herbert on my Herbert on my
Chargers are the
fantasy
best team in the NFL. They're the best team in the NFL.
You think so?
Yeah, as long as you're in this room
He's
right
a
now.
fucking Charger fan. Don't listen to his shit.
Yeah, you stay over there.
Fuck out of here.
They're another team that I
Yeah,
think they're going to be that team that consistently goes 10 and whatever it is, but just never gets there. I love Herbert. I just don't think they're ever going to climb that hump, the Chargers. But yeah, New York fans are fucking nuts.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you've ever seen at MetLife like any really weird tailgate rituals, like do people?
It's a religion there, and that's what I hate about Raiders games. The pregame is non-existent, in terms of tailgating. New York City, we got full restaurants fucking set up. You got guys bringing in the barbecue truck and the grilling truck. There's flag football games out there. There's fans arguing over who's a better fan. That's what I love New York fans. They always go by how long they've been suffering. I haven't seen them win in 20 years. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, it's like, well, then the Jets fans win because that's just awful to watch.
Right.
The Giants have at least given you a couple of Super Bowls over the years.
Yeah,
but,
you get that Eli Manning love every once in a while. It was sprinkled into your childhood.
Cowboys fans and Jets fans are the two best because every year, this is our year.
Doesn't matter.
Did you improve your team? No, but this is
no. You guys re-sign Ezekiel Elliott? Yeah, no. Yeah.
We got a first down, Super Bowl.
That's it. Dak is the best. Dak is the best. Because they always win the first two games or whatever.
Yeah.
That's it. This is Dak Prescott's team. No, it's not, bro.
It's like it's a fucking primetime game. And it always woos people. It's amazing how many diehard fans are out there in the NFL that dress up to these games too. These fucking
I'm not
fans
about
in
that.
No.
The spiked shoulder pads and the face paint and
your kid, your wife, the ones that it's bad. It's like when they fucking drag their wife in the fucking, and their wife is actually just dressed in regular street clothes. She hates it, and she's just like, God damn it, I have to sit
she's
next
like, I
to
told you, only wear the costumes at home, not in public.
What do you do for role play if at a Raiders game you're dressed up as
the
a
Legion of Doom? Remember those guys? Fucking spike thing.
Literally, man. Oh. But anyways, Alex, it's been a pleasure, man. Shout out your socials really quick, and then
Alessandro 426, the good old Italian long version of it, but they call me Alex. But yeah, I'm just trying to. I want to experience what it was like to be on a podcast. So this is great. I love talking football. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, no, I think this went just the way I predicted. I'm gonna get some nice clips for you and
sounds
show
good.
your
I'm gonna
fucking New York
repost them
fans.
tomorrow. We'll get you a couple more followers, and hopefully we'll revisit and see if what we've been talking about today actually came true.
I really do hope the Giants make it to the playoffs.
That's
a nice story. It's like the Giants and the Cowboys this year are slowly growing on me, but I fucking hate the Eagles for some reason.
My buddy Mike is actually. I have one quick question for you.
Yes.
Fantasy football
Go
trade.
ahead. Okay.
My buddy's gonna get pissed at me for this. Team 1 is offering to trade Waddle,
Okay.
Jamal Williams,
Okay.
league rushing TD leader right now,
Right.
and 49ers defense for Chris Godwin, and Jaguars defense. Bullshit trade, collusion, or what?
Oh, way bullshit.
Thank
trade.
you.
Are you fucking?
I got
kidding
so
me?
much shit because it was a commissioner's trade, and I made a stink in the group chat about this can't be allowed to go through.
No.
The argument, I was just like, no, there's no way you're giving me top 3, because in our league, defenses score more points than quarterbacks. They get points for everything. It's like, oh, they came on the field, point. But I've been taking so much shit from them going, and my buddy's like, well, the 49ers play the Chiefs in 2 weeks. I'm like, yeah, what about the rest of the fucking season?
Literally,
But I'm glad
bro.
someone agrees with me that there's no way that
There's
trade.
no way. And I love Jalen Waddle.
And
too.
I need a clip of this particular thing because I'm sending it right to the fucking group chat tomorrow.
Fucking vetoed, motherfucker.
It was.
What a shitty trade.
It was. It got rescinded.
Perfect.
I got what I wanted.
There we go.
Great time, though.
Alrighty, Gridiron Junkeez fans, this has been another wonderful episode. I will be back here on Monday to recap everything that happened this weekend. Sadly, I have a wedding, so I don't have that Wednesday night recap show.
Sadly, people are getting married.
Well, because I usually do a recap show Sunday night, and that's like, it fucking fucks with the flow and the vibe.
How dare they get married, those fucking people.
I swear to
Unreal.
God, right? But regardless, I will be back. We will be talking with more people. I got Madison Clavon probably coming on the studio soon. I got Joe Fransone. You can run it. Fucking.
I accidentally pressed it. My bad.
Wow, it's like the Oscars. You're getting played off right now on your own show.
It's over. No, I'm done. I getting played off. Later. See ya.